We talked of standards, and you've been involved very deeply with standards. And I want to talk about that a little bit. In India today, we have building standards, LEED, Griha, and others. Um, they are more building operation and sustainability standards. They're not construction standards. The construction standards are different. You've been involved with those as well, as you said. A young person trying to come into this profession, where do they start to understand these standards? Is there one place they can go to read and understand them?
Yeah. Now, Bureau of Indian Standards is also becoming more, proactive in trying to give out information on what are standards and how they are. But just a quick thought on this. The issue of Griha is all about building physics. It's all about passive technology. It's all about trying to use lesser energy to do what you want to do with that, right? So that's on the one side, which is to do with sustainability, as you said, which is to do with aesthetics,
Sure,
and so on. But the key standard that is there in the Bureau of Indian Standards is safety standards. We are talking about safety standards here. Structure is safe or not is one. That is where one half of the work can be done. People who are minded in that direction of doing detailed nonlinear analysis and do calculations and show for different hazards what will happen to the structure, that is safety standards. But for those who are worried about building physics or excited about building physics, how much light is required in a house, in a room, how much heat should come in. So one of the things that's happening with Indian environment is we're putting glass and putting 5-star ACs. Now that's inconsistent. What Griha tells you is don't put so much glass, don't have so much opening. You can't be in Jodhpur, Rajasthan and build a glass building there and the outside air temperature is 55 and the surface temperature is 75 and the summer and in the winter it's the other way around on the negative side. You can't do this for a country, tropical country like ours. So I would say you're asking for trouble if you do exactly the opposite. The deal is not to have a glass building and then put air conditioning, 5-star air conditioning. The deal is to prevent that heat to come inside during summers and the heat from inside from going out in winters first. To allow only that much light to come in as required for natural work without the use of additional lamps in a room, right? To use minimal amount of material where not required, don't unnecessarily. For example, you go to a hospital today, what you will see, huge amount of tile work up to 6 feet height on all sides of the corridor and including in the rooms of the ICU or whatever. Where is the crisis? Should there be an earthquake, all the tiles will fall. Most people in the hospital, the patients, are barefoot. So they can't run because they'll cut their legs.
sure.
Right? And then there are false ceilings, which don't have a standard in the country. If you use false ceilings and they come down on you, that's another human created hazard. It's not a natural hazard, the human created, designer created or architect created. So we would say we need to relook at the way we have been building. What we learned was minimalistic use of material for making your function happen is the only way forward. You don't have to unduly load up every room with a false ceiling. It's not required, right? And you want false ceiling, you add another 2 feet height to make false ceiling happen. So you're increasing building height, which means energy to go up and down the building is also increasing all the time. Not required. We need to think carefully. We need to sit down on a piece of paper and pencil and do some of these obvious items, throw them out. It's time, 2025. Ring out the old, ring in the new. But the game is that in old, there are a few items which you cannot throw out. And the word is safety. On safety matters, you can't throw out anything. Just that you don't like Newton's law, but Newton's law will remain forever.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.